G'day team, hope you're doing well. Happy spring. September is spring and Motorcycle Awareness Month. I'm not doing too well with my wearing yellow. I got a couple of stripes here, maybe the Magna logo on my gloves. But we are September for Motorcycle Awareness Month to show our support for the motorcycling community of New Zealand. And what better way to do it than riding a Harley? Now, I'm usually an adventure bike rider, but I'm not against riding a Harley. And what have I got today? A Harley-Davidson Breakout. What are we up to here? So this has got the Milwaukee 114 engine. The old school Harley-Davidson thumper. And if I show you the aesthetics of it, the look of it, it's quite a nice looking bike. I've ridden some less enjoyable, shall we say, Harley-Davidsons lately. But this one does it for me. Yeah, it's not the fastest thing in the world, but I really like the look of it. Maybe it's the fact that it's not black. I don't know. I like the lines of the exhaust. I like the rear fender. I think it's a great looking bike. And it's been nicely modernized with LED lighting, which is quite cool. We've got a tiny little LCD display showing me fuel, speed, gear, an odometer, and I think this button here, yep, so I've got a trip meter A, trip meter B, range, 257 kilometers left in my tank, time, which is not set, RPM, it's a number reader from RPM, so we're cruising along here at 50 kilometers an hour, and 2,600 RPM. We've got the standard Harley-Davidson self-cancelling indicators. You want to go left, it's the button on your left-hand bar. You want to go right, it's the button on your right-hand bar. And obviously it's a foot forward seating position. But it's not bad, really. I quite like it. Of a fat rear tyre, and comparatively speaking, a skinny front tyre, which means it's a little more nimble than the likes of the Sportster S, but it still wants to stand up going around a roundabout, for example. You get the power onto it. Oh, this will be a test of the suspension. You get the power on and it stands itself up quite quickly. I was cruising along the motorway when I first picked this bike up thinking, yeah, the suspension's quite soft, quite comfortable. It is, comparatively speaking. Comparatively? Yeah, I think that's the word. You compare this to the likes of the Sportster S, it is a lot softer, a lot more comfortable. You compare it to, I don't know, a cushy adventure bike, maybe the Pan America, for example, it's antiquated and not as cushy. No cruise control that I can see. So you got the bare bones. But you do have keyless start. So I've got the fob in my pocket and I don't put an ignition in a key in an ignition. It just senses that it's there and fires up for me. Now this engine, the Milwaukee 118, it's a beefcake It's not a thoroughbred. Does that make any sense? It's not a racing engine. It's a low revving thumper that puts out a decent amount of power. Well, here we go. We'll slow down and we'll pin it. Second gear, 40 k's an hour, go. I'm only in an 80 zone, so I don't want to go too fast, but yeah, man, it's not bad. It's not bad. Here we go around a roundabout. So my thoughts is I'm pushing it into a right-hand turn, and it's really fighting me. I want to slow down. Oh, touch the peg down on a roundabout. What does that tell you? At 30 k's an hour. It doesn't want to go into the corner as easily. You've got to hold it into the corner. It wants to stand itself up. But here we go into the industrial area. I'll park the bike up. I'll get some shots. We'll chuck them up in the video for you. The Harley-Davidson Breakout. It really does it for me, if I'm being honest. It really does do something for me. Question is, does it do enough for me? Would I buy it? Still a Harley, so I probably wouldn't. But out of all the Harleys that I've ridden this year, this is definitely my favourite on a looks standing. Milwaukee 114. If I said 118, I do apologise. Milwaukee 114.
So I've just ridden out to the back of Upper Hutt somewhere. Hopefully the wind noise isn't too bad. Taking a look at the Harley-Davidson Breakout, the classic rear fender. It's endearing. I quite like it. I think we've got rear LED indicators. We've got bulbs up the front and of course an LED headlight. The Milwaukee 114 putting out a decent amount of power. Just looking at the tyres now. On the rear we've got a 240/40 R18. Big fat tyre it is as well. And a 21-inch on the front, a 130/60 B21. Rubber supplied by Michelin, Harley-Davidson branded. It's a big cast alloy wheel on the front, 21-inch. Something you'd see, well, maybe not cast alloy, but the size is something you'd see on an adventure or a dirt bike. But it fits on the Breakout, definitely. And we've got preload adjustability on the rear as well, by way of a manual knob that you twist, sitting just under the main rider's seat. It's a comfortable bike. It's got a decent amount of torque, and out here in the middle of the back of Upper Hutt, I should say, on a sunny, beautiful blue sky, early spring, it's definitely the bike to be riding today. It does have a pillion seat, although it's quite a bit higher than the main seat. I'd say it's probably quite a bit harder too, but belt drive, as you would expect with a Harley Cruiser. Very, very comfortable bike. I'm enjoying it. It's a nice bike to be riding today. Harley-Davidson positioned this bike, the Breakout, as long, lean and mean. And it is long, with a wheelbase of 1,695mm. It is low, with ground clearance of only 115mm. And weighing in at 305 kgs, I would hardly call it lean. This is an all-American beefcake that could go on a diet and still be one of the heavier bikes in its class. The Milwaukee 8 114 engine is fuel injected, has 1,868 cc's, is a V-twin and puts out 155 Newton meters of torque at 3,250 RPM. Fuel capacity 13.2 litres on board and available in New Zealand in 3 colours: metallic green, metallic grey and black. It's priced from $39,495 plus on roads for the black. You'll pay about another $500 for either the green or the grey options. And I'm told at one point in time this was the most popular Harley-Davidson sold on these shores. I can see why. As negative as I am about Harleys so often, as far as cruisers go, this, as I said, is one of the best looking classic Harleys I've ridden this year. For an early spring cruise, I don't think you could do much better. Get out there and enjoy your bikes this spring, and remember, it's Motorcycle Awareness Month. Wear yellow to be part of the team and show your support for the New Zealand motorcycling community.